Hi YouTube, this is Wakeangel2K1, and I'm not talking about toys today. No, don't click away. I want to talk about a new show on NBC, I think it is, Revolution. It's probably been on for about 2 weeks now, and okay, I'm gonna admit something. I haven't actually watched it. So whatever I say, if in the episodes of the show itself, whatever I say is contradicted or explained by the episode, then let me know in the comments below. Okay? Let me just tell me. Okay? I don't watch it because, quite frankly, the trailer for it was a complete and utter insult to my intelligence. You see, this has kind of been niggling at the back of my mind, so I figured if I can just get it out to you why I think the show is so stupid, then maybe I can just let that part go. Okay, so the basic premise as I understand this show is that electricity stops working. Like, that's it. There's no power. Cell phones, iPods, power grids, all that stuff, just, no, they don't work anymore. And the world has been like this for 17 years, forcing humanity to go back to like a neo-medieval state. And I really have a problem with this. I mean, it's not possible to stop electricity. Now, I don't care. Even if you somehow wrote a virus that could propagate through every power grid on the planet Earth at the same time and infect cell phones and computers and all that and tell them to shut down, that won't stop electricity. Electricity is not some special man-made thing that requires specific maintenance from wizards that know how it works while nobody else can figure it out. No, because I know that this really isn't as, you don't really think about this as much, but electricity is a natural phenomenon. Humans didn't invent electricity any more than they invented fire. It's something that occurs. Like, the most obvious form of natural electricity would probably be a lightning bolt. But quite frankly, electricity is important to the way the universe works. I mean, the forces that hold molecules together, the things that drive chemistry, those are interactions between the electrons and atoms. Basically, electricity holds our bodies together. If electricity as a whole just stopped working, assuming we didn't just collapse into monatomic dust, then we wouldn't be able to eat. We'd starve to death because the process by which glucose molecules are converted to energy within our cells, that's chemistry, which is driven by interactions between electrons. It's electrical. Okay, so yeah, and even if all electronic devices on Earth were disabled, after 17 years, humanity hadn't rebuilt any of it? I mean, do the writers of the show think that electricity is something that only again, I return to the wizard's argument. We learn in elementary school how to make electrical motors. All you need to do is pass a magnetic field through a conductor, and that creates an electric current. The most common way to do this is to rotate a magnet in a coil of copper wire, or rotate a coil of copper wire in a magnet, over a magnet. That produces electricity. You can easily make new generators. I mean, a lot of buildings are actually built like that. If for some reason the power grid that powers the city is to be compromised, like in a blackout, a lot of buildings have independent generators in their basement, which are powered by something like gasoline or some other fuel, which generates enough electricity to keep the building running until the power grid's established. You're telling me that after 17 years, nobody figured out how to do that? But okay, let's suspend our disbelief. Let's say, for the sake of the plot, electricity doesn't work. I would like to see if there's still such a thing as lightning in this world without electricity. But let's just go on. At the end of the trailer, this is what really got me. We see a guy discreetly walk into a building where there's an old computer, really old. It has like stuff growing out of it, and he takes out a device that's about the size of a cell phone. And has a USB jack, and he plugs it into one of the USB ports on the old computer, and that starts it up. And not only does it start up, he sends a message out and gets one in reply. Okay, this is where my incredulity just exploded. How does that work? There's no electricity. No one has figured out how to make an electrical appliance work in 17 years, but there's this proprietary device that causes computers to start up. And the internet still works. You can communicate through phone lines or send instant messages. Do they not know the internet is not something that lives in your computer? If your computer worked, it could not be connected to the internet. I mean, the internet is powered by like massive server farms that direct terabytes of data every second. There is massive infrastructure involved in keeping the internet working. And what did they network these little computers together? Are they connected by wires that are hidden between cities? I think somebody might notice that. I mean, I imagine in a world where electricity doesn't work, people would start to take down the wires and power lines so that they could use their metals for other things. If you can't use them for electricity, apparently people in this show use swords and arrowheads and stuff like that. So that's a waste of a resource to have electrical wires around. So how are these devices connected to each other? I mean, is that little device thingy like some kind of super cell phone? Does it transmit a Wi-Fi? Because Wi-Fi requires massive quantities of power again. I mean, you think that a cell phone, you know how you can drive out of the city and then your cell phone doesn't get reception anymore? That's because there's no receiving towers. The transmitter in your cell phone can't by itself go to other cities. It seeks out the nearest antenna and relays a signal there. And then that signal is taken to a transmission antenna where it beams out to the receiver on another cell phone. There's a lot of infrastructure and power involved in that, and you can't just restore a single computer and have internet communication again. That's not how anything works. And that's why when I saw the trailer for the Revolution TV show, I was not buying into it. I mean, last year we had a show where people went back to dinosaur times. That show's premise wasn't too out there. I mean, the world was a polluted and overpopulated wasteland, and within a few years we're going to face environmental collapse and everyone's going to die, except for whoever is protected in domes, but that will only buy them some time because the domes aren't self-sufficient. So they found a way to travel back in time to 80 million years ago where the world is still green and lush and unspoiled, and you can go back there and you can either A, export as much of the population as you can there and have a new Earth, or B, use it as a strip mine because it has all the resources that Earth today no longer has. I mean, the whole wanting to strip mine the past to pollute the present even more while destroying the past as well, that's stupid, but the premise of the show, the premise is still solid. I mean, it's humanity's second chance. There's nothing wrong with the premise. In Revolution, I really can't get past the premise. It's stupid. It's frankly a really stupid show. Written by... I mean... It's even worse than Dark Angel. Dark Angel is a show that was on Fox maybe a decade or so ago. The premise of it was that the United States faced financial collapse after an electromagnetic pulse caused all the financial computers and all of our all of the software that kept track of America's wealth, that it was destroyed basically. So all of those ones and zeros just became zeros. I mean, that's a dumb premise, but at least it's somewhat plausible. I mean, a lot of our banking data is held up in computer banks. So if those computer banks are destroyed, we basically lose our credit score. So yeah, Revolution is an even dumber premise than Dark Angel. But again, I may be saying that the show has a really ridiculous premise, but maybe, just maybe, there was some kind of hand waving or explanation in the pilot of the show that explained exactly how this works. And if so, please tell me in the description. Because I would really like to know. If anyone's watched NBC's Revolution, I'm really interested in knowing. Because I just don't think I can find myself sitting through an hour-long episode just to when it already has such a high battle for me. So yeah, this is Wakeangel2K1. I'll be bringing you toy-based videos very soon.